plus additional discounts on selected hair products and hairs. Go take advantage of this marvelous, fantastic offer. Beauty-wise, located on 31 Hanover Street, right next to the Rosa Market. And of course, you can contact them at 612-9855 or 440-9093. Time check in the studios of DBS Radio. It's 7 o'clock. It's time to bring you the morning news.
DBS News. Fresh in the morning. Eye-opening and balanced. The DBS Morning News starts right now.
This morning's headlines: the body of the late broadcaster Charmaine Green Brown to be laid to rest on her property in Mont Daniel later today. The Ministry of Health in Trinidad concerned over the rise in cases of dengue, and the President of Ukraine fires the commander of the Air Force. This is the DBS Morning News. Details right after this.
DBS Radio presents Unexpected, glimpses into broadcasting skills of Charmaine Green Brown this Saturday from 8 a.m. and a repeat on Sunday from 2 p.m. Unexpected, glimpses into broadcasting skills of Charmaine Green Brown.
DBS News.
Welcome back to the DBS Major Morning News. My name is Curtis Matthew. The body of the late veteran broadcaster Charmaine Green Brown is to be laid to rest later today at her property in Mont Daniel. That follows the funeral mass at the Cathedral Chapel at 10 o'clock this morning. Charmaine Green Brown, who was employed with DBS Radio for close to 40 years in various capacities, has been regarded as one of the best broadcasters ever in Dominica. Mrs. Brown passed in the U.S. suddenly on the 1st of August this year. President of Dominica, Her Excellency Sylvanie Burton, the cousin of the late Charmaine Green Brown, said earlier, Mrs. Brown made her mark in Dominica.
Mrs. Green Brown was a media icon, a distinguished and outstanding announcer, a true Dominican legend and great family woman who dedicated most of her life here on earth to broadcasting journalism and to the service of mankind. She was employed at the nation's station DBS for over 4 decades and held several positions over her long and distinguished career, to include program director and acting general manager. Mrs. Green Brown has a very close relationship with the Office of the President, having served as Public Relations Officer of the President's Charities Foundation until she was forced to resign on 5th day of August 2019 owing to personal circumstances. She was a founding member of the foundation and gave 15 years of selfless, loyal, committed, and unparalleled service. She migrated to Miami in 2017 and kept in constant contact with the Office of the President, inquiring about the operations of the foundation, and gave her in-kind and financial contributions to whatever activities that the foundation hosted. Mrs. Green Brown stayed on as an honorary member of the foundation until her passing.
And that's President of Dominica, Her Excellency Sylvanie Burton. Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit said he remembers the late Charmaine Green Brown as a patriotic Dominican.
I want to first of all extend my sincere condolences to Charmaine Green's husband and her children. Charmaine Green certainly is one of the most known media voices in Dominica, who worked on DBS for so many decades. A very pleasant voice to listen to, very articulate, and Charmaine Green was one of the great Dominicans, a very patriotic Dominican who gave all of her life service to to Dominica and Dominicans, and so it's very sad. And may her soul rest in eternal peace. This is as the fragility of life. But let us remember her for her contribution. I think you cannot speak about media, you cannot speak about communication, you cannot speak about broadcasting, and certainly you cannot speak about DBS radio without speaking about Sherman Green. I mean, Sherman Green was DBS, and DBS was Sherman Green. So I mean, she was a very pleasant voice and exceptional, and I think the media fraternity, Dominica as a whole, has lost a wonderful daughter of the soil.
And that's Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit. Meanwhile, manager of DBS Radio Cecil Joseph said the passing of Sherman Green Brown will leave a void in the Dominica media.
She has contributed quite a lot in the area of broadcasting. She has helped in the development of broadcasting. She has helped in building broadcasting in Dominica and the wider region. And today, as manager of DBS Radio, I need to send sympathy to the family and to the fraternity of broadcasters in Dominica and the wider region. Sherman has been a stalwart for broadcasting. Many persons know her involved in broadcasting most of her life. She was the program director of DBS Radio for a number of years and worked at DBS Radio for over 30 years. So I want to extend my sympathy to the family, her friends and loved ones, and I want to say, may her soul rest in peace.
And that's the manager of DBS Radio, Cecil Joseph. Regional journalist Peter Richards worked closely with Sherman Green Brown during her years at DBS Radio.
Sherman Green Brown and myself came to DBS Radio practically at the same time. I think she was there a week before I came in as a reporter at DBS. Some of us, we prepare, and even though we prepare for that, we're still not prepared for it. To Ma Brown and the family, my condolences. Be strong.
Regional journalist Peter Richards. DBS will air a special program on the late Sherman Green Brown at 8 o'clock this morning. The funeral mass for the late Sherman Green Brown is at 10 o'clock this morning at the Cathedral Chapel. That will be broadcast live by DBS Radio on all its frequencies and the Facebook page. Of course, we will bring that to you at 10 o'clock this morning. Of course, it will also be broadcast live on YouTube. We will be bringing that to you at 10 o'clock this morning. Other news, weather officials in Dominica are monitoring a potential tropical wave which is expected to approach the region by Monday. Here is the acting senior Met officer, Itoma James.
This weekend, we expect there to be fairly fair weather. We do not expect anything significant to be occurring on Saturday and Sunday. However, on Monday, an approaching tropical wave in the central tropical Atlantic is being monitored by the Met Office and the National Hurricane Center. The National Hurricane Center has given this tropical wave a 40% chance of developing into a tropical depression or tropical storm within the next 7 days. Based on the current projection and the location of the tropical wave, this system should be near or in the region by Monday night into Tuesday. And this system, regardless of any development of the system, is looking to be somewhat of a rainy system, and we can expect some excess rainfall. So the Met Office is continuing to monitor the system as we may need to issue a flood watch or warning during the period. Also, depending on the development of the system, we may need to issue marine advisories as marine conditions could deteriorate during the period. So we are just asking the general public to, while enjoying your weekend, ensure that you have your plans in place in the event that this system takes a turn for the worse, so that you would not be rushing to have your preparations in place. Just stay alert, keep monitoring the system. We will keep updating you on any significant updates or changes in the system as it approaches the region.
And that's the acting senior Met officer, Itoma James. Other news this morning, Fire Chief Josiah Dupey is retiring after 18 years at the helm. A ceremony to honor Mr. Dupey was held at the fire headquarters on Friday. Minister responsible for national security, Rayburn Blackmore, told the ceremony Mr. Dupey served with distinction.
And I want to congratulate Mr. Dupey, who came in young into the service, and he's still only 56 years old, and is retiring. 43 years of service to the country. His entire adult life in service to the country. That is indicative of a hero. That is indicative of a man who was born to serve his country. And for that, we must be proud of Mr. Dupey and congratulate him, wish he and his family all the best. The fire department, I was told before I became the minister, was the most difficult department within the government service. It was so historically, and there's a reason for that. It brings a lot of stress to bear on the people who serve, etc. And as a consequence, things emerge, and human beings have emotions, they have feelings, and have expectation. And to be placed in an organization with all those expectations of you from the public can bring to bear a beating on your body. But I must confess, and I said so publicly, that the fire department, in my view, is one of the best departments within the public service.
Minister responsible for national security, Rayburn Blackmore. Meanwhile, the outgoing fire chief said the cooperation of fire officers and management of the fire department was key to his success. He praised the efforts of fire officers during the COVID-19 pandemic.
It's you who have really done the hard work over the years. And I have said to you before, and I say it one last time, I have been very proud to serve you. I've been very proud to serve you throughout difficult days. We were talking about the COVID pandemic. And when I spoke to you, fire officers, I saw the challenge that was before us. I saw the fear, rightly so. I saw the apprehension. I saw probably even decisions to report sick, to not turn up for work, simply because of the uncertainty of the COVID pandemic. And somehow it wasn't so much what I said, but it was how well you tune your ears, how well you tune your heart towards the service that you had committed 2 years before. And you were true to form in responding to those calls. I remember that. It will stay with me forever. So I want you to be assured that although I leave here today, well, maybe in earnest in November, my commitment to the fire service, as I've said before, remains unwavering.
And that's the outgoing fire chief, Josiah Dupey. In Trinidad, the Ministry of Health is considering pursuing legal action against property owners and occupiers as dengue cases have now shot past 1,000. In an update on Friday, the Ministry of Health said there are now 1,053 laboratory confirmed cases of dengue fever and 11 confirmed deaths. Meanwhile, up to Friday, 833 yellow fever notices were issued to property owners, directing them to clean up their surroundings. Finally, this morning, the president of Ukraine, Volodymyr Zelensky, has sacked the commander of the Air Force amid debate over destruction of one of the country's valuable F-16 fighter jets. Zelensky did not specify the reason for dismissing the commander, but said he had a responsibility to take care of all their warriors. The US-made F-16 was one of several delivered earlier this month by Ukraine's Western allies. It went down on Monday, killing the pilot. It is 15 minutes after 7 o'clock. That's news. Now let's take a look at the headlines again. The body of the late broadcaster Charmaine Green Brown to be laid to rest on her property in Mount Daniel later today. The Ministry of Health in Trinidad concerned over the rising cases of dengue. And the President of Ukraine fires the commander of the Air Force. The sports report right after this.
DBS Radio presents Unexpected, glimpses into broadcasting skills of Shameen Green Brown this Saturday from 8 a.m. and a repeat on Sunday from 2 p.m. Unexpected, glimpses into broadcasting skills of Shameen Green Brown.
Covering the nation and beyond, DBS Sports Report.
Rudolph Thomas Enterprise in Portsmouth, your suppliers of building materials and hardware products. Over 20 years experience in the business. Rudolph Thomas has lumber and plywood, Portland and tile cement, steel rods, galvanized and fenced pipe. And Rudolph Thomas can meet all your wire needs. Galvanized roofing sheets, doors, windows, toilet sets, face basins and bidets. PVC piping, fittings and lattice. Check out Rudolph Thomas for ceramic and vinyl floor and wall tiles, nails, nuts and bolts, paint and painting supplies. And check out their line of electrical and hand tools. And Rudolph Thomas is your one-stop shop for hard-to-find items like fiberglass mat and fiberglass resin and welding rods. Go now to Rudolph Thomas on 1240 Bay Street in Portsmouth.
More money with NBT, it's more money.
One easy loan.
More money with NBT, it's more money.
To upgrade my phone and even my home with one simple loan.
More money.
To have your wedding, to go traveling, to do anything.
More money.
No security. Speed the delivery, just check NBT. Apply anytime. In branch online, it's more money time.
More money with NBT, it's more money.
No collateral.
More money with NBT, it's more money.
Speed the delivery.
More money with NBT, it's more money.
Just check NBT.
More money with NBT, it's more money.
It'll go for 6, it'll go for 6, Pretorius! Pretorius has snatched a victory here for the defending champions, the Ghana Amazon Warriors. A 3-wicket margin, and it's joy unspeakable for the defending champions, and heartbreak once again in 2 nights for the Antigua and Barbuda Falcons.
So Dwayne Pretorius hit a 6 of the last ball as the defending Republic Bank CPL champs, the Guyana Amazon Warriors, pulled off a last ball win over the Antigua and Barbuda Falcons as the Caribbean Premier League continued last night in Antigua. The Antigua and Barbuda Falcons batted first and they made 168 for 6 in their 20 overs. Kofi James and Faka Zaman had gotten the Falcons off to a good start at 84 for 1 before the Warriors pulled things back. James got 37, Zaman 40, and Imad Wasim 40. Gudakesh Moti picked up 3 for 25 for the Warriors. Guyana, in reply, they were in trouble, but Romario Shepherd and Dwayne Pretorius hit some big shots in the back end of the innings to take the Warriors home. Shepherd got 32 from 16 balls after being dropped early in the innings. Pretorius 20 from 10, and Shehope 41 from 34 as the Warriors posted 171 for 7 in their 20 overs to win by 3 wickets. Chris Green picked up 2 for 32, Imad Wazim 2 for 28, and Shama Springer 2 for 42 for the Falcons. The CPL continues today with the Trinbago Knight Riders taking on the St. Kitts Patriots at 7 o'clock. Some football news now. The national footballer Odell Laville believes Dominica has what it takes to remain in League B of the CONCACAF Nations League. Dominica opens up its campaign in League B next week when the men's national team takes on Antigua on the 7th of September in Antigua. Laville says the team has worked hard to get to League B and don't intend to be relegated.
Mentally, you have to prepare. good and you have to be strong, because it's not going to be easy in League B. As we came out from League C, we did good, and I want the team to bring that same energy in League B, and just go out there and do what we have to do for each other, for family, for friends, for everybody, loved ones.
And you personally, you've been in some real good form as of late. Had a little bit of a slow start with your new club at Jubla, but you've really been racking up the goals now. Personally, how are you feeling?
Well, for me, everything is time and God, and right now I'm establishing myself at Jubla, so I just keep it going and step by step.
And of course, you have a reputation for getting the goals at the senior level, so I'm sure you must be feeling pretty confident, heading into this competition.
Yeah, I'm always confident, Gavin.
All right. What would be the message to the team, Odell, as we look to, stay in League B and obviously try to get promoted to League A? As a senior guy in the team now, what would be your message to the youngsters?
Well, my message to everybody, not just the youngsters, but everybody, is to keep our head up. We fight for each other as a team. Everybody for each other, not for ourselves, but for each other and for the country. So I just want the guys to keep going, and stay focused, and we'll do it.
And that's the national footballer Odell Laville. We are staying with football news because Taron George got 4 goals as Southeast put 7 past Point Michel as the DFA's Under-20 football tournament continued last night at the DFA Technical Center. Well, Southeast won 7-3 as they got 5 goals in the second half after the scores were tied at 2-2. Adriel Lawrence also got a brace and Romario Challenger got a goal for Southeast, while Malachi Labad and Kalik Prevo scored both goals for Point Michel. Football action continues this afternoon with action in Division 1. Wayne George Academy will play Kensborough Academy. Olympic gold medalist Thea Lafogatson says she's forever grateful for the relationship with the late Dr. Carissa Etienne. The Olympic champion says Dr. Etienne served as a great inspiration for her. Dr. Etienne, the former World Health Organization director, passed last year.
I remember listening to a woman who came from Massac, who then ended up on an international stage in front of thousands, millions, in front of presidents, ministers, kings, and queens, and how beautifully and humbly they all listened to her. And I watched how she changed our world in the health aspect, powerful World Health Organization, and I sat in awe of someone for the first time in my life. And so eager to find out more, so eager to learn more. I was visiting and helping her day in and day out, and suddenly one day on the morning I was supposed to go visit her, she passed. And all I could think, wow, if a woman so prominent, so kind, so loving, but so powerful, could represent not only herself but her country with such grace, with such poise, and fearlessly, who am I to fear anymore? And then I realized that all my shortcomings, all my sadness, all my failures in the past, in truth became my superpower. For when you no longer fear failure, all that is left is to accept success.
Olympic gold medalist Thea Lafogatson. Some volleyball news. Dominica will be looking to make it 2 straight wins in a row as they take on the Suns this morning as the ECVA Under-21 Beach Volleyball Championships continue in St. Kitts. Dominica will play St. Kitts in the men and women's division this morning. Yesterday, Dominica opened up its campaign in the ECVA Under-21 Beach Volleyball Tournament with victories in the men and women's division. The men's team of Mervyn Mingo and Bill Frederick picked up straight set win over Bermuda, winning 21-8, 21-14. Meantime, the defending ladies champions, the team of Alisa Bully and Nyla Edmond, won in straight sets over St. Vincent. They took the match 21-12, 21-17. Cricket West Indies Director of Cricket Miles Bascom believes the new selection system will help create more opportunities for cricketers in the region. Cricket West Indies has launched a new system which will be overseen by the Cricket West Indies head coach. The new system will now have scouts within the various territories. The new system will comprise the head coach, a senior talent manager, territorial talent ID, local selection network, and Cricket West Indies contracted technical personnel. Bascom says the new process will allow more players to be scouted.
The belief of the cricket committee is that the engine room of the selection system resides in the territories. And so these territorial talent IDs will be the persons who are drawing all of the information about the talent in their territories. And we basically are going to give them a seat at the table in terms of the discussion around West Indies team brands, the competencies of players, what we expect in terms of what is available, what should be available in terms of skill sets, and ask them to transfer that information back to the players so that we have that alignment all the way from CWI level right down to the territories. The senior talent manager in that diagram will be a person who is responsible for passing, collecting, and collating the selection data that comes from these territorial talent IDs. And that data is going to be fed into our depth charts, our player profile development, and then that senior talent manager will be the one sitting with the head coach, ensuring that he is making the selection decisions based on this data.
Cricket West Indies Director of Cricket, Miles Bascom. Some more cricket news. The outgoing Cricket West Indies Chief Executive Officer, Johnny Grave, says he has no regrets over his tenure. Grave is bidding farewell to Cricket West Indies after 7 years in the position. He says he's pleased with some of the things Cricket West Indies was able to achieve during his term.
I'm very grateful for everyone who's given me so much support in my 7.5 years in the role. It's been an enormous challenge, but one that I've thoroughly enjoyed, and will look back on my time in the Caribbean and particularly in Antigua and Barbuda very fondly. So I'd also like to, on behalf of the government of Antigua through the Honourable Minister Matthew, and certainly pass my sentiments on to Cabinet yesterday of the fantastic support that they've given Cricket West Indies during my tenureship, and particularly me personally. And we certainly wouldn't be sitting here today in this unbelievable 22-acre site here right next to the airport in Antigua as our high performance centre with the newly crowned Antigua Falcons CPL team out there training this morning. So it's fantastic to be sitting here in a high performance facility that is currently, the best in the region and has the potential to become one of the best facilities in the world that will help us hone that talent that Miles will talk about through the systems and processes that he's implementing, particularly those men's and women's academies that are going to be based here in that crucial development phase between the ages of 19 and 23 predominantly. So I'd like to thank everyone for the support that they've given me, and certainly I'll be continuing to rally around the West Indies.
And that's the outgoing Cricket West Indies Chief Executive Officer, Johnny Grave. Joseph Fadul, it's going to be a long weekend in terms of coverage of news out there. This morning, for example, we pay our last respects to the late Shermaine Green Brown. The funeral mass is at 10 o'clock. We'll be there for that. And then at 1 o'clock, there's a private reception at the Fort Young Hotel. That is at 1 o'clock. That too we have to attend for news purposes. And a little later in the day, just around 2:30, 3 o'clock, at the Peebles Park, at the playground, at the playing field for children, set up by the Roseau Central MP Melissa Skerritt. There's a ceremony there where the parliamentary representative for Roseau Central, Melissa Skerritt, will be donating and bringing gifts to children who are going to go back to school. She will be making some serious presentation there at 2:30, 3 o'clock. Also have to bring coverage. And over the weekend, Sunday, is also the launch of the Casibros reunion that will take place sometime tomorrow at 4:30 in the afternoon. Again, DBS News has to do some coverage of this one. And of course, quite a few sporting highlights will also be on this weekend. I know Gavin Richards will be busy for the weekend. So it's really going to be a busy weekend for us here at DBS as we do coverage of these activities and more over the weekend. And of course, just to tell you, Joseph Fadul, as we pay our last respects to Shemaine Green Brown, as I said before, one of the things I remember her for is that during Talking Point, while she served as the program director of DBS and I as the news editor, Shemaine Brown made contact with me regularly, especially during the Talking Point program. She would seek my advice on certain matters. And obviously, before she went on to do the Talking Point, she would have made contact with me about my views on certain matters. And that happened regularly. So I remember Shemaine very well for making contact with me before she goes on the Talking Point. That I remember very well. Our last conversation, by the way, would be on the 3rd of July. That's the last time we spoke. She advised me on a news item we had not done. She felt that a news item should have been done on a certain matter, and I explained why the news item was not done at the time. So she advised me on that particular news item. That was the 3rd of July. In fact, when on August 1, I got news that she passed, I sent a text message to her phone. And that was just about, I would say, 5:45 in the night. Parliament was on at the time. When I got the information, so I sent her a text message just about 5:45 on that particular day, August 1. And obviously there was no response. Today we pay our last respects. Joseph Fadul, good morning.
Good morning to you.
We'll talk in the course of the day.
Rudolph Thomas Enterprise in Portsmouth, your suppliers of building materials and hardware products. Over 20 years experience in the business. Rudolph Thomas has lumber and plywood, Portland and tile cement, steel rods, galvanized and fence pipe. And Rudolph Thomas can meet all your wire needs. Galvanized roofing sheets, doors, windows, toilet sets, face basins and bidets. PVC piping, fittings and lattice. Check out Rudolph Thomas for ceramic and vinyl floor and wall tiles, nails, nuts and bolts, paint and painting supplies. And check out their line of electrical and hand tools. And Rudolph Thomas is your one-stop shop for hard-to-find items like fiberglass mat and fiberglass resin and welding rods. Go now to Rudolph Thomas on 1240 Bay Street in Portsmouth.
More money with NBT, it's more money.
One easy loan.
More money with NBT, it's more money.
To upgrade my phone and even my home with one simple loan.
More money.
To have your wedding, to go traveling, to do anything.
More money.
No security. Speedy delivery, just check NBT. Apply anytime. In branch online, it's more money time.
More money with NBT, it's more money.
No collateral.
More money with NBT, it's more money.
Speedy delivery.
More money with NBT, it's more money.
Just check NBT.
More money with NBT, it's more money.
7:33 the morning time on DBS Radio, and right now we bring you this morning's edition of the Insert of the Package. This morning's edition of the Insert of the Package is brought to you compliments A&A Low Price Center.
A&A Low Price Center in the village of Calabishi offers the best prices for the freshest products ever. One-stop convenient shopping at A&A Low Price Center in Calabishi. For your foods, your everyday needs, snacks, liquor, dry goods, and more. Just about everything located in the flat of Calabishi, directly in the center of the village. Come to A&A Low Price Center on the highway in Calabishi. A&A Low Price Center is family owned and operated. It is fully computerized authorized, VAT compliant, low toll, credit card and top-up capabilities. Stop at A&A Low Price Center in Calabishi today or call 445-7655. Drop us an email at analowprice@gmail.com. A&A Low Price Center in Calabishi open 7 days a week, 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. Visit us today. Just walk in and be happy you did.
And this morning's insert of the package will come from the morning's news edition, where we can tell you that the body of the late veteran broadcaster Shemaine Green Brown is to be laid to rest today at her property in Mount Daniel. This will follow the funeral mass at the Cathedral Chapel this morning from 10 a.m. Shemaine Green Brown was employed with DBS Radio for close to 40 years in different capacities, has been regarded as one of the best broadcasters ever in Dominica. Mrs. Green Brown passed away in the U.S. suddenly on August the 1st. President of Dominica, Her Excellency Silvani Burton, the cousin of the late Shemaine Green Brown, said Mrs. Green Brown made her mark in Dominica.
Mrs. Green Brown was a media icon, a distinguished and outstanding announcer, a true Dominican legend and great family woman who dedicated most of her life here on earth to broadcasting journalism and to the service of mankind. She was employed at the nation's station DBS for over 4 decades and held several positions over her long and distinguished career, to include program director and acting general manager. Mrs. Green Brown has a very close relationship with the Office of the President, having served as public relations officer of the President's Charities Foundation until she was forced to resign on 5th day of August 2019 owing to personal circumstances. She was a founding member of the foundation and gave 15 years of selfless, loyal, committed, and unparalleled service. She migrated to Miami in 2017 and kept in constant contact with the Office of the President, inquiring about the operations of the foundation, and gave her in-kind and financial contributions to whatever activities that the foundation hosted. Mrs. Green Brown stayed on as an honorary member of the foundation until her passing.
That was President of Dominica, Her Excellency Silvani Burton. DBS Radio will bring live coverage of the funeral mass from 10 o'clock this morning. Of course, we will begin a little bit before 10 with commentary and some remembrance from about 9:30. And of course, coming up at 8 o'clock this morning, we will bring you a specially produced program of the production department, and of course that's going to be this morning with us live on DBS Radio. 7:38 the morning time right here on DBS Radio. It's time to bring you this morning's edition of your weather report. This morning's edition, of course, of your weather report on DBS Radio is compliments of our good friends at Big Edge and, of course, at Flow Dominica. We are about to cross over to the good folks at the Met Office for the morning edition of the weather report live on your nation station, DBS Radio. Stay tuned for that. That's coming up next right here.
Make weather information a part of your daily life. Listen to the weather report after the morning news and at 1:10 p.m. daily on DBS Radio. A message from the Dominica Meteorological Service, your trusted source for weather information.
You've got the edge over your circumstances. Many times there'll be trials to face. At least when it comes to your waning finances, you've got the edge. Help is coming your way. You've got big edge for those days when you're running low. Big edge, big edge.
Thanks to our good friends at Big Edge and Flow. We join Devon Matthew with this morning's edition of the Weather Report.
Good morning. The weather update from the Dominican Meteorological Service at Douglas Charles Airport for the 31st of August 2024, recorded at 7 a.m. Today's weather is expected to be partly cloudy to cloudy with a few showers. The conditions at the Douglas Charles Airport are cloudy with surface winds westerly at 4 knots or 7 kilometers per hour. The present temperature 26 degrees Celsius or 79 degrees Fahrenheit. There was no rainfall yesterday, and the total rainfall for the month so far is 286.4 millimeters. The sun will set today at 6:19 p.m. and rise tomorrow at 5:52 a.m. The high tide today will be at 2:39 p.m. and the next low tides will be at 8:26 a.m. and 7:39 p.m. The weather outlook for Dominica and the Lesser Antilles. A high pressure system is expected to be the dominant feature across the area during the next 24 hours. Low-level clouds moving with the wind flow are expected to result in mostly partly cloudy conditions for a few showers. Across the southern Lesser Antilles, unstable conditions are expected to continue, spreading unsettled weather conditions. The National Hurricane Center is currently monitoring an area of interest in the central tropical Atlantic with a medium chance of development within the next 7 days. Regardless of development, the system could produce high rainfall totals over Dominica Monday into Tuesday, and the flood watch or warning may be issued. Interests in Dominica are advised to monitor the progress of this system as we continue to provide the necessary updates. Slight to moderate seas can be expected in open water, with waves expected to peak near 5 feet. Synopsis: a high pressure system is the dominant feature. The forecast for today and tonight: partly cloudy to cloudy with a few showers. Winds east-northeasterly to east-southeasterly at 10 to 25 km per hour with higher gusts. Sea conditions: slight to moderate in open water, with waves 1 to 1.5 meters or 3 to 5 feet. There are no warnings or advisories at this time. We are presently in the Atlantic hurricane season. For more information about weather conditions, visit our website at www.weather.gov.dm or call us at 266-4490. For further information, you can find us on Facebook at Dominican Meteorological Service, follow us on Instagram at Dominican Met, or add our WhatsApp channel at 618-3469. Reporting from the Douglas Charles Airport, I am Devon Matthew.
Why pay full price for your mobile when you can pay half? Just bundle your home internet and mobile services with Flow and save 50% on your mobile bill. That's money in your pocket every month. Plus, now you get free YouTube and WhatsApp data. And you can share your plan with up to 3 other numbers. Upgrade now and get a free smartphone. Switch and keep your number. Learn more at discoverflow.co.
And now, your community bulletin board.
Welcome to this morning's edition of the General Announcements on the DBS Radio Community Bulletin Board. This morning's edition of the General Announcements are brought to you compliments Valley Engineering.
Stretch your dollar at Valley Engineering. At Valley Engineering, our customers enjoy our dollar stretching price policy. Save money. Valley dollar stretch prices apply to a wide range of parts, which include water pumps, shock absorbers, steering and suspension parts, clutches, pressure plates, filters, oh yes, oil, gas, and air filters, NGK plugs, ball and roller bearings for wheels and transmission, timing and fan belts, engine gaskets, mechanics tools, brake parts, wiper blades, mud guards, grills, batteries, lubricants, starter and alternator parts, bulbs, head and park lamp, and many, many more items. These dollar stretch prices at Valley Engineering will not shock you. They will only surprise you. Why not visit us today on Goodwill Road or at our relocated Portsmouth outlet on Bay Street? So cut costs and save with Valley Engineering's dollar stretching.
And with the kind compliments of Valley Engineering, we